Hello and welcome to my channel about Unity development. So you want to make your own game but you don't know where or how to start? In this video, I'm going to introduce you some fundamentals about programming. My aim is to help kids who has interested in game development, and hopefully I can make a series of videos that help them to get started. I will start with very basic theory and later on will be some hands-on coding with Unity. If you are planning to learn programming or know someone who is interested in game development, feel free to show them this series of videos. I don't have a plan on how often I'm going to make a new videos, but I will try my best to make as many videos I can do in my free time. So let's get started. First, I think it is very important to get to know how a computer works. In other words, what parts do you need when you want to build a custom PC, for example? First, you need a storage. This will be used to store your game content, like texture or 3D models. The more content you have in your game, the more storage space it will require. Next, you will have memory. In short, game content will be loaded into memory when needed. More memory means you can have more content loaded, and it is essential that you need to manage your memory carefully in your game, otherwise it will cause a lot of problems. Then you will have a CPU, which stands for Central Processing Unit. You can consider this as the brain of the computer. It basically processes almost everything on your machine. At last, you will have a GPU, and this stands for Graphic Processing Unit. It is very common that this gets integrated into motherboard, but if you are after more high-end graphic, it is important that you need to buy a separate graphic card. So, this is all the parts you need in a machine in order to run a game. But when your game is being processed, it will push out graphical information onto a display unit. For this example, is your monitor, or if you are referring mobile phone, it will be your phone screen. And don't forget, it will require some sort of input to interact with your game. So this is a nutshell of the machine we have in nowadays. Hopefully this gives you a brief understanding on how machine works. This will become handy later on. Computer language cannot be easily read by human. For example, when a game is being executed, basically it is the CPU reading binary code, which contain only 1 or 0. In the world of computer, there is no such thing as 2 or 3 or words that is readable by human. So how do we code? In case if you have not noticed, there are many programming languages invented for human beings to write programs. For example, there are C#, Objective-C, or JavaScript. And each language will have something we call compiler, which you can think of it as a translator to translate our human readable code into binary code. I tend to think of writing a game is like writing a menu, or things to be happen in an order, or a give command in certain conditions are met. When we write code, it is possible to write it on a simple plain text editor, but we usually write code using special editor. We call it IDE. This stands for Integrated Development Environment. For instance, Visual Studio is one of the popular IDE we use in game development. Like I said before, writing code is like telling things to happen in an order. Computer would run code from top to bottom, so if we tell the character to run in the first line and attack in the second line, the character will follow in this order. In recent years, visual scripting is being introduced, which developer can write code by joining things together. This is also another way to write code as well. Syntax is another important element in programming. Each programming language has its own syntax. Some of them will require you to insert brackets, or some of them will not require you to define your variable type, etc. If you want to get strong with one particular programming language, you will have to study the syntax. Most of the languages nowadays have become more even easily readable by human, or I would think of it as less restriction on the language. So, let's talk about Unity. Unity is a game engine that helps you to create games on different platforms. It provides things like physics engine and particle system and more to help you easily create your game. People have also used it to create animation, movie, or some other interactive applications. I've been using it for more than 8 years, and basically I self-taught myself, so there's no reason why you can't be a Unity developer even you have no computer science background. So go ahead and download Unity Hub from their official website. So after you download and install Unity Hub, this is what you see when you open it. Unlike me, you should have no project listed in here. Now let's install the engine. Click on Install on the left hand side. This will take you to a list of installed engine you have on your machine. In your case, it should be empty. And to install a version of your engine, click on Add at the top right corner. A list of available engine versions will be shown in here. Like you have seen in here, I have installed the latest version, which is 2019.4.2. So now you go ahead and select on the version and press Next. After this, Unity will ask you to pick your own module to be installed with the engine. For example, if you want to develop games for Android, then you will need to have the Android build support. As you can see, I'm using Mac, and in Unity Hub, there's no option for me to install an IDE, which is Visual Studio with the engine. I will have to go to Visual Studio website and download its installer myself. Whereas if you are using Windows, there is an option for you to install it at the same time as you install the engine. There's also an option for you to install another IDE. For example, on the left hand side we have Visual Studio, and on the right hand side we have Visual Studio Code, which is a lightweight cross-platform IDE. So back to Unity Hub, let's assume you have a version of engine installed, and we can create a new project by clicking New at the top right corner. This will bring up a new project setting panel, where you can define your project name, your project location, and your project template. For example, if you want to make a 2D game, you can select 2D, and Unity will have some default settings for you to make a 2D game. Please remember, you are not limited to use 2D features if you select 2D. This is just to give you a quick starting point on making 2D content. And at last, Unity Editor interface will be loaded after you click Create, and you will see something like this on the screen. Here is everything I want to talk about today. In the next video, I will explain some fundamentals about Unity Editor and some basic knowledge about writing your very first C# script. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit a like on this video. I hope I can see you soon. Goodbye.